Hey guys, what is up? So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a kombucha, and throughout this video I'll be talking about the health benefits of kombucha. I'll be showing different kombucha making techniques, and I'll show you the different materials that you'll be needing, and that's about it. So without further ado, let's just hop right in. First step to making kombucha is you're going to want to fill your pan with water, and then you're basically just making tea to start off with, so you're just going to wait for that to get warm, and once it is, you're going to add tea, and I usually add about 2 tea bags just so it's not too strong, but you can definitely add more if you'd like, or you can just use one. Like, it depends on how strong you want. It's mostly like person preference, but for me and most of the people that like I know that drink kombucha, we usually just use like 1 or 2. So yeah, but once you notice that your water is warm, you're going to add those, and you're also going to add 2 cups of sugar, and or you can use 1.5, like depends on how sweet you want it, but I would recommend 2. And so yeah, once you see that it's getting warm, you can do that. The water is about hot enough. It's starting to steam a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and add our sugar. Just add all that in. And then I'm just gonna I'm gonna stir that around with a wooden spoon a little bit. Just kind of let it do its dissolving thing. And while it is warm and like the sugar is dissolving and such, I'm going to go ahead and add the tea in. And so I just usually have those off to the side. And I wouldn't keep I would stop the like making the tea once it starts boiling, and then I would just kind of let it sit and do its thing and see how it goes from there. Once you have started to make your tea, you're just gonna let it cool off and sit, and then come back to it once it's room temperature. Now we're gonna start the first brewing process, which is all about fermentation. As you saw, we made our tea, we added the sugar, and now the tea is cooled off. So what I did is I added all that tea into a jar with the SCOBY, and it looks a little bit like this. And so now what you're gonna do is you're going to get a coffee filter or 2. I would only recommend about 2 because you still need it to breathe. This is a little more than that. And then you're just gonna put it over and have it act as a lid like so, and then put a rubber band around it to guarantee that, or not guarantee, but to ensure that nothing gets in it. Fruit flies and ants are a common thing that can get in your kombucha. I know from experience. And it's not like a bad thing, but it definitely is a bummer. And so you're going to keep it like this, and then when you store it, you're gonna want to store it in a dark, like, cabinet area. Down here, it's a little dark corner. There aren't very many bugs that get to it, and I have a couple other kombuchas that are going right now, and I just leave it in here for about I would say like 5 to 7 days. I will taste test it every other day just to make sure everything is good. That's like make sure everything is good. And kombucha is a very tart drink, and it doesn't have like, it has a flavor for sure, but it's not like a super great flavor, so it doesn't taste super good. Like, it's definitely like, oh yeah, this is kombucha, but it's not super great. And so like you'll know what it tastes like because it has a quite unique flavor. And so about every other day, like I said, I will taste it. And then usually to the in between like the 5th and 10th day, I will decide when I want to start flavoring it, and that is in the second brewing process. Now we're going to be moving on to the second brew process, and this is the one where flavoring and first thing with the second fermentation process that you're going to do is you're going to take the SCOBY out of the tea, which I have already done. Here's my SCOBY. I just put it on a plate with a little bit of liquid so it like doesn't die while I do this. And then I have my tea here, and as you can see, there's no SCOBY in it. And yeah, that's the first step you're going to do is you're going to strain your SCOBY. So here I have this jelly strainer, and I just place it over a clean and empty jar, and you can use a half gallon. I use a gallon just because that's just how much I make, and then I put the jelly strainer right over it like so. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your tea, and you're just gonna, and always do this over a sink because you don't want to make a mess because this can get pretty messy. And you're just gonna start pouring over. And why I use a strainer is because the SCOBY leaves a lot of like it leaves a lot of like strings and like just kind of gross stuff, and so you don't want that in your tea, and so you're just gonna go ahead and do that. Have our kombucha all strained and ready for flavoring. We're going to do just that. So the flavor that I'm going to try is lemon pomegranate. And so here I have half a lemon, and I'm just going to like squeeze all that in there. And then I also, I'm going to be a little careful, have a bunch of pomegranates that I mashed up, and I cut about half a pomegranate and scooped out about as much as I could, mashed it up, and now we're gonna just add it to see if it works. And the best way to add it, like some people use natural juices and stuff, which I thought about using lemon juice, but we had some lemons, so I said, why not? And so you're just gonna like squeeze it all in there. And it's okay if you get like a lot of the stringy stuff, and I don't know, this is like really sour, so that's probably good. I only squeezed about like, I don't know, not that much. I'm just gonna add like basically all the pomegranates because I want that to be the most prominent flavor. And so, and yeah, that's about it. It looks like inside is just this. You can see all like the little pomegranate seeds floating around, and most of it's just gonna sit and kind of chill until it's done. And I'm gonna let it sit for about 3 to 5 days, and it should be done by then. The last step to the second fermentation process, now that you have flavored your kombucha, you're going to get a metal lid, and you're just going to screw it right on. And then you're gonna leave it back in the cupboard, or you can leave it on the counter. It doesn't really matter since your SCOBY's not in there anymore, and the best thing to do is about every other day taste it, see if you want to add something, or if you need to add a little bit more water to dilute some of it. And after about 2 or 3 days, you'll start to taste the fizziness, and then the flavor should be about where it's gonna be at. And then just like let it keep going for a couple more days, and then it'll get pretty fizzy and the flavor will definitely be more prominent. And then when you're done with that, where you have it at a place where you like it and you're ready to give it to your friends or just drink for yourself, then you just put it in your fridge and it will stay like that. And that's the second fermentation process.